My name is Asia. Welcome you to a Good Living segment. You already know the conversation that we're about to have. Dr. Vanessa Appiah is here with me. She's the CEO of the Accra London Health Centre, and we are going to talk about how you and I can reduce the frequent visits to the doctors. We need to know certain things, certain vital, basic things. We need to have them on our fingertips. Okay, it's not every single time that you have to be worrying the doctors. Just as some pastors will say, learn to read the Bible yourself. So you small dream that you have, you are calling your pastor to tell your pastor, Pastor, Papa, I have had this dream. No, I think the doctors also need a little bit of relief, some one way or the other. Isn't it, doctor? Isn't it so?
It is so, but the main thing is that for you to be able to look after yourself and to prioritize yourself as well.
Okay, so that's the goal.
Yes.
That is the goal.
Yes.
Okay, not for you to do away with us.
No, not at all, not at all.
But we thank God for that.
Exactly.
Because no matter what we do, we are still going to come to you.
Definitely.
Yes, we are still good. So talking about living good, just as the segment says, good living. What was a good living? Like what Nat and I were talking about earlier. Sometimes you think you are eating healthy, you are living healthy, you're doing okay. And so you wouldn't even see the need to have certain tests done for yourself because you haven't seen any signs of maybe headache here and you haven't had any sort of symptoms whatsoever. So when we say good living in general, healthy living in general, what are we talking about?
So it's such an important topic because for me, when we talk about healthy living, I think we need to think about something I keep talking about, health creation. So a lot of the times we react. So we have a pain and then we go and see a doctor. Or we don't go when we first feel the pain. We go after months and months and we leave it for a long time. Other symptoms, change in our bowel habits for many, many months. Weight loss for many, many months. Unintentional weight loss, I should say. And we don't seek anyone until the last minute.
That's true.
But the process about health is an active thing. So creating health is active. So it means being aware that we need to prioritize our health and we need to consider our health. So as you say, we can be living our life, we don't feel anything. So we think, okay, I'm living in good health. But are you? So the question is, okay, how do you know that? And there are really basic things that we can do and check for to just give us a little picture of who we are. It's a window. It's not going to tell you everything.
Okay.
I'm not going to advise people to go and have these kind of massive, exhaustive tests, etc. But there are some really simple things that can make a real difference to your life and that of your family and your extended network as well. So
when you started talking, immediately something popped up in mind, and it's in relation to obesity. In the sense that a lot of the times, I do not know, I have wondered, and I've asked myself this question several times when I see women or young adults who are obese, most especially, that when it's happening, do you not see it happening? When you see you gaining weight, for instance, I am so conscious of my weight that the moment I sense that, my stomach is beginning to bloat, I have to do something to reverse it. Because I have a certain look in my head that I want to look that way. So I will do something to make sure that I don't go overboard. But then when people who end up becoming over, I wonder, don't you see it?
So you've just picked on a really important thing there. So you mentioned about in your mind. So in your mind, you're thinking, right, I can see myself. This is not how I want to be. So I want to change. But it's all about mindset because people feel very differently about themselves. So you've got a very proactive attitude saying that I have an image that I like of myself. So I want to maintain it.
That's true.
But getting to that point can be very difficult for people. So some people are not even sure what they want to be. Some people can see the difference but don't know what to do, and it's so easy to be paralyzed by something because you're thinking, okay, how do I manage this? What do I eat?
Yes.
How do I reduce it? How do I maintain not eating something?
Yeah.
How do I exercise?
Yeah.
Can I afford to eat better?
That's a whole...
It's a whole mindset there. And then also as well, following through.
Yes.
Sometimes we are so unkind to ourselves because, 1st of January, we all do it.
Oh, we all
and
do it.
I like at the moment on the internet, there's lots of things about against resolution and small changes.
Yeah.
And I'm for that because we sit there and think, right, I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a week. I'm not going to eat this.
List.
Yeah, top on our list. I'm not eating any more bread.
Yes.
I'm cutting out sugar. And then you can do it. Well, if you can do it for one day even, that's amazing. But
at least it's something.
It's something.
Yeah.
But I say that it's little changes can make significant differences in the longer term. So if you are looking at yourself and you're thinking, I'm uncomfortable with who I am or what I'm doing, then instead of thinking, I need to lose 10 stone and how am I going to do it now? Think, okay, I need to adjust what I'm eating day to day. So pick one thing that you can do. So let's say you look at your plate, and it requires honesty with ourselves, to look at your plate and think, how much do I eat each day? Okay, so I'm looking at my dinner and I'm looking at all the different meats and sauces and carbs on there. So can I reduce a bit every day?
Okay.
So let's say for this week, I'm going to cut down the amount of yam I have. I've got 4 portions, I'm going to have 3.
3, okay.
And then being consistent. Small but consistent is one of the most powerful things that we can do. There are some people that are like, I want to lose weight.
Yeah.
I'm not going to eat. I'm going to do it. I'm fixed and I'm resolute.
Yeah.
It works for some people, and that's fine, and kudos to them. But there are many people that doesn't work for.
Yeah.
And also, if you don't feel confident in yourself, you try and do something, you don't see a win, and it's easy for your spirit to be lowered.
Again.
And then you're like, okay, what's the point?
Yeah.
So I always say to people, number one, you're not alone. People struggle in different ways about different things.
That's true.
And you little and often and consistent is what will change things. And I like exactly what you said. Have a vision of who you want to be. Yeah. So when you see that you're not aligning to that, that gives you the, Exactly. But if you don't have that vision, it's very, very difficult to think about, okay, what do I want to change? Who do I want to be? Because you're not sure what you're aspiring to. And we can say that for anything, we can say that for education, anything. So it is something, think about what you're aspiring to as well.
So if I'm getting you right, then you're basically saying that we need to adapt to a style that becomes a lifestyle.
Exactly.
Not you just jumping into, I want to lose weight. So you start off by, you say, this week I'm not going to eat carbs, then 0.
Exactly.
You're doing 0 carbs the entire week. Before you realize, just after 3-4 days, you've gone to get some banku or something, because your body can't take it anymore.
Exactly.
You're famishing.
Lifestyle is active. Health is active. Health creation is active. So that aspect of how do I create health in my life? Yeah, definitely.
All right. Now, let's move on to something. I'm seeing something on the screen on here. Know your numbers. Okay. So what are we looking at?
So, we're saying that you can be there and you're thinking, I'm fine. I eat salads a lot. I walk a lot, etc. But, sometimes our bodies don't always reflect our actions. So you can see someone and you're looking at them and they're thinking, they eat KFC all the time. They never put on weight. Whereas some people can look at it.
One of my brothers is like that.
Yeah.
Z. Yeah. He can eat even late at night.
Yes.
He still has a very flat stomach. And he looks very buff and well-built, muscles. I envy him a lot.
We've all got people like that in our lives. I'm not one of those people. So you're not sure, you can't sense what's happening in your body. So I say that there are some basic things that we need to know. So we need to know our blood sugar. We need to know how much sugar is in our blood. And that can be really simple, a finger prick test that can assess how much sugar there is. And that gives an indication, we think about things like diabetes, so raised sugar, and that will also allow us to know, how is our body controlling the sugar? Is it having difficulty doing that? And then that will affect what we eat and how much exercise we do, and everything else. And also, if we have got high blood sugar, we need to act on it as well. So the sugar is really, really important. But one of the biggest things that when we think about our numbers and when you know your numbers, the most proactive thing that you can do is your blood pressure. And I always emphasize that there are many things in our lives that we don't feel the impact of. And high blood pressure, hypertension is what we call the silent killer. You know, so for some people will say, oh, my pressure's up, I've got headaches, I don't feel great. And I listen to that and we check the blood pressure, etc. But for many people, they don't have any symptoms about their blood pressure. And it's only when they go and check that they know, okay, my blood pressure is out of range and I need to do something about it. And we know, the heart, for in anything, physical, mental health, everything, it's core to us. So our blood pressure will give us an indication of how our heart is functioning and how blood is being pumped through the body. Blood is required for all of our organs. So if we're not getting blood there, we're not getting it there in the right way, in the right amount, at the right rate, that can affect our organs and cause many, many complications.
Wow.
So hypertension and also low blood pressure as well is important to know. And for all of these, let me say that you have to know what is normal for you. Because once you know what is normal for you, then you monitor the changes as well. It's trends. So we talked about weight. So we're here and you weigh yourself and you know what's happening so that when you weigh yourself in a month's time, you know where you're going.
That's true.
But if you don't weigh yourself and you weigh yourself today and then you're 84 kilos, you don't even have a sense of whether that's good or whether it's bad. So the regularly monitoring yourself is really, really powerful as well. So we've got our blood pressure there. The number that everyone remembers is 120 over 80. So the top number, 120, the lower number, 80. Now, if you are higher than that, it doesn't necessarily mean you have high blood pressure. There are certain thresholds that we keep an eye on. So when we go near the 140 mark for the top number, it tells us we need to be really keeping an eye on this and monitoring this and thinking about our diet and exercise. And also the bottom number, 90, is also a number that it's like, okay, we don't want it to go higher than this. So we have the 120 over 80, but when you're seeing it creep up, go and speak to someone.
Okay, so when you see it creep up a little bit. So maybe you go to a 125 or close to a 130. Should you still be alarmed?
Not alarmed at all. So it's just monitoring it and being aware. But if you're going past the 130, going into near 40, then please go and speak to someone. Yes, because that conversation may be a 10-minute conversation and you don't need to speak to them again. Because they may say, okay, your blood pressure is around this. I would advise you monitor it every month or 6 monthly. I advise that you monitor your diet, you reduce salt, you try and walk for a bit, at least once a week. That conversation, it may not seem much, but that can be life-changing. So it's the conversation following the numbers is also important as well.
What machine or what can we use to test that?
So what's great and why I say it's a really important one, you can do blood sugar at home as well, but your blood pressure machine, your blood pressure monitor, you can get it anywhere. Most pharmacies, clinics, you can see on the street there. Most of them are powered by battery, and they explain it, but you put the blood pressure cuff on the arm, and then it will do it automatically for you. I always say to everyone, the most important thing is sit down and be at peace. Don't try and do something. Don't be scrolling on your phone while you're doing it. Don't talk to anyone. Be relaxed. And then just leave your arm at heart level there, and then just check it. And then, all of us, most of us have our phones. Just note the date and the blood pressure so that if it is around 125/80, great. But you check it in a month, you check it in 2 months, and you see the trend. Trend is really important as well.
Okay, so monitor, and I love the fact, because these numbers, the 120/80, I know that it confuses people a lot of the time. So we have learned something. If you have the monitor, the blood pressure monitor at home, this is what you have to know. 120/80, that's normal. Slightly over 120, still okay. But when you are hitting close to 140/90, you should be alarmed, and you need to speak to a medic, maybe a doctor, or I mean anybody close to you that you can have easy access to. You need to speak to the person. Okay, and then somebody is asking a question of if you're constantly around 157.
So you need to speak to your doctor.
Okay.
Because that is hypertension, and it's persistently raised. So we need to give you something to manage it. It will be lifestyle changes, but if it's persistently 157 or more, then I would advise treatment. But
okay, so what if the person is okay, yeah. Okay, you are not the doctor of the patient,
yes,
so you can't
exactly.
really tell.
But
okay.
it would suggest to me that they need to be seen and reviewed, and also to assess other things as well, because the blood pressure may be a window into something else that's happening as well. So please don't sit in it. Please go and speak to someone about it.
We'll have an in-depth look into the other numbers, because this is pretty broad. We can't just, end the conversation just here. But we are pressed for time and we have to go. But I have something, wellness checklist, something that we can look at and then check daily.
Yes. So for me, I was just saying that when we think about creating health, let's think about things that we can actively do.
Okay.
Really simple things. Hydrate daily.
Drink a lot of water.
Drinking at least 3 liters. And in this season in Ghana, many people are fasting.
Yes.
And so just being aware of hydration is really, really important.
Okay.
Sleep. Sleep is so important. We take it for granted. We eliminate it. If we're going to cut anything in life, we cut sleep.
Yes.
And the thing is that sleep is a time for our bodies to rest, for our cells to regenerate, for our minds to just have a bit of peace. And we underestimate the impact of mental health and poor mental health on our day-to-day living. So sleep is a really, really important part of that. Everyone has different numbers, but it has been medically proven that around 7 to 8 hours sleep is really, really good, and it's important. Some people manage on less. Some days in life, we have seasons in life, where life is so busy, and you reduce that sleep. But when you can, try and recoup it, because sleep is really powerful.
Oh my goodness, sleep is indeed powerful. Regardless of the kind of job that you do, try to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. When you get the chance, please do sleep. Dr. Vanessa, thank you so much.
Yes,
We'd love to have you again.
No, definitely.
So we can continue the conversation, because we have to learn so much about knowing the numbers and then what we have to do to prevent, going to the doctors too often and all that. But it's a lifestyle that we need to adopt to help ourselves.